What's up, wrestling fans? It's your Friday night wrestling news. Sure you guys are happy to be here like I am. And since it's, Christmas Eve, we don't know what time I might be live tonight for a brief time to say hello to everybody. And if I am, I will see you then. But if not, there's a lot of things in wrestling today that have been going on the last couple days. We've got the beef with Jim Cornette. The NYLA ROSE controversy or whatever. Someone brought a sign, so everybody freaks out. Matt Taven potentially moving to WWE. If I was Matt Taven, I would ask Mike Bennett and say, yeah, so should I go there? How'd they use you? Maybe just ask Mike Bennett how things went, and he could probably find out that he doesn't want to, in fact, go anymore. But then again, maybe he does because he needs a payday. I mean, let's be honest. He's been in Ring of Honor a long time, the Indies a long time, and Mike Bennett, got a little bit of status. Got to travel to Impact, and after a while of just doing local promotions, got picked up by Ring of Honor, got to do Impact Wrestling. And then Mike Bennett, gets signed with WWE, and regardless of what he did creatively, because they used him like garbage, he must have, he got some kind of a payday. Plus, he's with Maria. And Maria's got some stash somewhere. I know she probably spent some money on college, but, she's got some stash somewhere, and she made money there too. So, Matt Taven hasn't been able to have that. He's had a nice little, I'm sure he's always had a nice little contract with Ring of Honor, maybe like, and I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. I don't know if it's more than that, and I don't know. But I'm assuming that it'd be nice probably from Mike Bennett or Matt Taven, rather, to get a big payday or a big enough payday at this point. There's backstage news reportedly on Tommy Dreamer's status with Impact. Guys know he was suspended indefinitely or suspended at least. Not indefinitely, but suspended for basically his just comments on the Plane Ride from Hell episode of Dark Side of the Whatever thing that happened. Apparently, Tommy Dreamer is back working with Impact Wrestling, so all is okay now. Here, take a timeout due to the social justice backlash, and now come back, and whatever. Proving that it's just a bunch of fake crap, and they gave in to the mob all because of the guy's comments, whatever. Okay, we get it. Shawn Michaels talking about Triple H and how he's doing. We all know after Triple H's heart attack, we haven't really had a lot of information about exactly what's going on with Triple H, but apparently, there's been a little bit of that with Shawn Michaels. He said, I think the biggest thing was that I didn't know I was going to be the one having to do everything, Shawn Michaels said, so he's laughing. Because basically Shawn Michaels is the man in charge of NXT 2.0, but he's in charge of it, but not really. He's the coach, but the owner, the owners are looking over the shoulder, telling him what to do, but yet he's in charge of, I guess, executing the plays, right? Shawn Michaels is in charge of executing the plays, but the plays have been chosen by somebody else. It'd be like if there was two head coaches, right? It'd be like if Bill Belichick, is giving the playbook to somebody else to do, which he does do. So, you know what I mean? Sometimes he takes over. So, we don't really know what's going on. But he says Triple H is doing good, I guess. And Triple H, when he's back, will have a lesser workload. So, Shawn Michaels says he'll know more, whatever. I just consider NXT dead, so I don't even care. I don't know what you guys think about it, but to me, I consider it dead. By the way, if you guys want to support videos like this, you guys can use the Super Chat, or rather the Super Thanks feature down below in the box. You guys know where it is. And I will pin the top person that supports me and this video, especially since it's Christmas Eve. We'll make sure we pin it. Pin your Christmas present to me if you have one to the top of the thing. You don't have to, though, but I will pin you. So thank you. Just a reminder about Super Thanks down below. So that's, good, sort of. Mike and Maria look like they could be returning to Impact Wrestling. I mean, makes sense to me. AEW started to write new Marvel Comics projects, so NYLA ROSE apparently is going to be writing a Marvel comic or whatever. I don't know. We had all the controversy the other day with NYLA ROSE. I mean, NYLA didn't even say anything. That's the best thing about it. I like that. I like that the fan was like a dink. You know, people are like, oh, crazy transphobic person. It's like, dude, that's what they want you to say. This guy probably isn't even transphobic. He's just an a-hole. And he knows that he can trigger you. That's the funny thing. This guy wanted to trigger people and to troll people and to get attention. And he knew the best way to do it was with a sign like that. So sure, maybe it is phobic or whatever you want to call it, but that doesn't even matter. The point is he got what he wanted, which is to trigger a bunch of idiots. People gave this guy more attention than like anything. AEW the other night did 1 million viewers, and instead of talking about that, all day has been just talk about this buffoon with a sign. Who cares? Like, how many signs over the years, like your mother swallows, this guy swallows, we swallow. You know, why is my screen flashing? I have no idea. You know, I mean, I don't know. It's a weird sign, but Jim Cornette is trending on social media, or at least was trending, for saying, making comments. Obviously on Dynamite, the sign said NYLA Rose is that guy's dad. We all talked about it that night on the AEW review. And basically then the guy got ejected from the show. Cornette took to Twitter Thursday and commented on how times have changed in the pro wrestling business. The funny thing about Jim Cornette to remember this. Jim Cornette is a Trump-hating liberal. Jim Cornette is a Trump-hating liberal. Just want you to remember that. It's a known fact. You can listen to his podcast anytime if you want to hear his politics. He hates Republicans, he hates conservatives, and he loves liberals, and he's left-wing himself. And he hates Trump, and he loves Biden, apparently. But it's funny because yet he's getting canceled all the time by his own people, and they think he's a right-wing psycho. And that's the funniest thing about all of this. I mean, they eat their own, I guess. But boy, times have changed when wrestling drew big crowds. Fans got tossed out if they committed a physical assault or pulled out a knife. If you tossed them for saying horrible things and hurting the wrestlers' feelings, the buildings would have been pretty empty, like they are now. He's right. He's right to a degree. You know, and the thing for me is that I've heard wrestlers call people the F word. You know, I don't want to get demonetized here, but, you know, the F word that rhymes with bag. And that triggers people into throwing fans out and whatever. And, you know, one part of the argument is times have changed. Do better. And although I'm a person who loves Star Trek, right? And I always say in Star Trek The Next Generation from the 80s, the good Star Trek before it got taken over by idiots now, I always said, you know, in Star Trek, they almost never swear. They don't call people these names. They have a very evolved sensibility. And I said, you know, to get to an evolved sensibility like that, we're going to have to lose a lot of freedoms, and we're going to have to really change, you know, and be better people. And in the reality of TNG, they seemingly are better people, right? They are better people. They're people that I want to be like. I want to be like Captain Picard. I want to be like some of these characters who are so good, wholesome, proud, and it's fun. But yet I'm kind of like a cockmouth, you know? I really say crazy things, and I do crazy things myself. And to get to that point, you know, you'd have to start to change, you know what I mean? So there's the argument that we should be better now and not do that, not bring signs that say bitch, loser, die, you know, the F word, calling people names, calling people, you know, trolling people that they're a guy when they change to be a woman and they're now a woman and they're trans, and, you know, gay jokes, things like that. You know, would you allow a sign that says N-word? You know, so where's the line? Where's the line? You know, so for Jim Cornette, I guess it's, you know, there is no line, maybe. I mean, if some guy brings a sign that just has the N-word on it or, like, something like that, I mean, you wouldn't throw them out. I mean, you probably would, right? I mean, so there is a line, you know, and saying, like, oh, you know, this, haha, you're really a guy. I mean, it's hard to say, like, I don't know. Like, I don't even know where I am on it, to be honest. I just know that, like, he's kind of right because I've seen this with other signs, right? And I don't think people should get thrown out if they call a wrestler a name. You know, like if you called, you know, you were in a fight, you were in an argument with Jericho in the front row, and Jericho called you a bitch, and then you called Jericho the F word, I don't think that fan should be thrown out because, yeah, he said the word that rhymes with bag, but he was talking trash to Jericho, who was talking trash to him, and they both said crazy stuff to each other, and that's what wrestling, that's fun to me. That's a great interaction, and as far as I'm concerned. Now, some people out there would say, oh, he's homophobic. Well, I don't think so, because Jericho's not gay. So calling him that word is just they're talking trash. I don't mind that myself. Now, if Sonny Kiss is walking by and some fan calls Sonny Kiss a stupid F, like, yikes. That's kind of yikes, bro. Like, I don't know about that one. But at the same time, it's, if I was Sonny Kiss, I'd be like, nah, don't throw him out. Like, he's just whatever. You know? I wouldn't even want the guy thrown out. But I mean, but that is a little more rough because, like, would you allow, holy shit. I lost my hearing or something for a second. That was really weird. Would you allow someone to call, someone a stupid N-word? It's like, would you allow that? So if you wouldn't allow that, why would you let someone call a gay guy stupid F-word? And then if somebody who's trans comes by and they call that person a man trying to troll with their stuff, I mean, what if a black guy calls a white guy the C word? I don't even think you can say that on YouTube anymore, so I'm not going to say it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, is that, like, you know what I mean? Like, where does it end with that? So if all of those things are things that will get you thrown out, you know what I mean? Like, if you're a white person, would you be offended if somebody had a sign that said all whites are racist or all, like, crackers? Like, oh, I said it. Oh, fuck, I'm going to get demonetized. Oh, whatever. I'm getting demonetized. Please use super thanks down below to support this video. if there is one there, because sometimes they'll take it off the video if they demonetize the video. But hopefully it's there. If not, check out my links. So it's an interesting debate to have, if you want. But you can see what I mean. Like, if you called Jericho the F word when you guys are fighting, I don't think that's ejectable. But if you called Sonny Kiss that out of hate, even if you're just joking as a wrestling fan, that's still kind of, like, rough. You know what I mean? That's like calling a black guy an N-word just because, like, when he walks by. Should you be able to do that, if you're in the fans? Like, I don't know, man. Like, that's one of those ones where it's like, yeah, maybe that's too much. But having a sign that says, Nyla Rose is this guy's dad, I mean, that to me isn't as bad. It's a creative way to be. Some people would be like, oh, what? It's a creative way to be transphobic? Wow, so creative. By the way, do you want to take a look at what the guy looks like who had the sign? He looks like Uncle Fester's dildo. Okay? Take a look at this guy. You think this guy isn't trying to get attention? By the way, I pointed the wrong way. I got a better clip. I just like that picture better. Dude, this guy looks like Uncle Fester's fucking rape victim. Look at this guy. His hair from 1999. I know that I've got a shell necklace on. I'm one to talk, but never would I curl my spiked hair and drag it down on my head like a fucking jack-o'-lantern with a mask on, too, by the way. But I believe he put the mask on to try to conceal himself, but I don't think he really. But he does. He looks like Uncle Fester's favorite mongoloid. We're probably going to find out that this guy's, like, autistic and he's a mongoloid or something, or he's retarded or something. Either way, he wants attention. That's all he wanted was attention. And he got it, because you people are stupid. Not you people, but the people on Twitter are stupid. But even I tweeted about it. Because the only reason why I tweeted about it was because I was impressed that Nyla didn't make a 50-page crybaby Twitter post about how bad her feelings are hurt or whatever. And, when I commented on this and some people said that I was supporting trans, whatever, and then other people were writing he. There were people, see, like, that's why I'm so, like, it doesn't bother me anymore that you people are psycho out there on Twitter. So if you tell me that I'm transphobic because I didn't condemn the guy 100%, well, I don't care. Your words don't hurt me. You're a moron. And if you're somebody who, when I called Nyla Rose she, and then you wrote under my comment in parentheses, he, you're also a moron. It's like, okay, yeah, can you deal with it? So what? Nyla Rose wants to be a guy now. Wants to be a girl. Now she's a girl. I'm calling her she because that's what she wants. She's not hurting me or hurting anybody else. That's what she wants to be called, so I'll call her that. Now, if she wants to come and tell me my kids are really girls or boys or backward, whatever, or tries to impose things on me, like, yeah, we'll have a fight about it. Or if you want to talk about biology, we'll have a fight about it. But I believe, not like NYLA, something's up in her brain that tells her that she's a she and that she's different than what her body gave her. So I'm going to just call her she because she wants to be called she. It's not a big deal to me. I don't care. I'm not going to die on that hill. If it's going to hurt her feelings and bother her if I call her he, I'm not going to do that. That's a dick thing to do. So if you're out there saying that, oh, I'm transphobic because I don't think the guy with the sign needs to be lynched, like, well, go fuck yourself. And there goes my demonetization again. And if you're out there trying to correct me because I call NYLA what she wants, which is she, and you're telling me, actually, Joe, he. Like, are you going to be all right? Are you going to be okay? He. Ugh. It's like, fucking, dude, relax. Calm down. So I don't get that. But either way, back to the Jim Cornette thing. I agree with Jim there for the most part. Other than extreme cases. Now, I've been very critical of NYLA Rose's wrestling, and said it's been terrible and cringy, weird. Her voice and the way she goes, surprise, bitch. Like, it's just weird. But other than that, I really like how NYLA Rose, at least to this point, reacted so far. Even on Twitter, NYLA Rose, the only thing she wrote was, some of you are all really nice or something. Or thank you, some of y'all are really nice. That's what NYLA Rose said, And so, anyway, I really respect that NYLA Rose, and I'm sure there's been other times where she hasn't done this and we could criticize her, but I respect her for, not really making a big deal out of this. Now all the, not you guys, but all the Twitter people, all the wrestling fans, or a lot of wrestling fans, a lot of Twitter people, have made a big deal out of this. Even I tweeted about it several times. So the only people making out a big deal are everybody else trying to virtue signal their own ass everywhere. It's so ridiculous. It's like everybody needs to take up that mantle for somebody. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, at least she wasn't like, she's exactly what she should do, because it's gonna make people respect her more. But now people are coming after Jim Cornette, I guess, and that's the whole thing. Jim Cornette responds. And people basically just calling Jim Cornette a racist and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, but I thought people liked people like Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette is a left-wing liberal who loves Joe Biden, and Joe Biden said you're not black if you don't vote for him. So are you also not black if you don't support Jim Cornette? So I don't understand what's going on. So there's that big controversy going on, and that's about it, man. Somebody said Jim Cornette was misusing the N-word or something, and it's like, well, my theory behind this is it's projection. I think for all the times Jim Cornette was probably using the N-word and racist or whatever, I think he's probably got that guilt, so therefore his inner brain tells him to virtue signal as much as he can, to hate people like Trump and stuff like that. I'm assuming that's what it is, And listen, I don't care what anybody hates or likes or whatever. I just think it's weird that a guy like that is somebody who's actually called that. It's very bizarre. So to me, it just, I don't know, there's some kind of projection going on here with everybody. Everybody's projecting. All the Hollywood people, everyone's projecting because they know that they've done something in the past, so they need to get out ahead of it and scream from the heavens so they could possibly never be questioned that they're a bad person or that they've done something racist or bad or inappropriate or whatever, because they know the social scores are coming and we're all going to be chipped soon. And when we are chipped and the social scores come, it will start with the vaccines, but then it will move to chips and things like that. But when those come, which they're already coming, so, we said this 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we all talked about it, and people called you a crazy person or a conspiracy person, and now they're coming, and now you're not one, or you still are one. I don't know. It's like very strange. But so I think it's people trying to get out ahead of it to make themselves feel better, that they're a better person or something like that. And it's really just sick, bro. It's really just sick. I still love the live and let live, and I wish I could get myself to be a little bit more towards the fifth dimension. You know, I'm always trying to. It's like I can't help it though. I'm too much of an emotional being. But I'm trying hard to get back to meditating and to get to a point where I'm neutral, and I just accept love, and that's all I do, and I don't criticize, and I try to get out of the bias bubble that I'm in, because we're all in some kind of bias bubble that's feeding us what we want to hear, because of the computers and the algorithm and everything else, and it's so crazy how sucked into it you are. And until you come out of that, become neutral and come from into an observation point of what's going on and move to maybe some heading towards that fifth dimension, you know, you're going to be stuck criticizing all this stuff. But also, if you think that people are being criticized unfairly, you're going to take up a defensive posture, which is going to bring you down back to that 3D third, or back in that third dimension, having the war on the battlefield, the physical battle. Everything is so physical and 3D and tribal. And if everything is so physical, 3D, and tribal, you know that you are in a losing battle all the time. If it's what's you're on your Facebook, you're in a losing battle. If it's what's on your Twitter, you're in a losing battle. If it's what's on your Instagram, you're in a losing battle. If it's all you ever talk about and debate about, you're probably in a losing battle. But talk and debate is good because it can open the mind. But if it's all you're watching, consuming, and then you find yourself repeating it, you know, you're inside that loophole, and you need to try to claw your way out. You need to forgive everybody all the time, no matter what they do to you. And you need to understand everybody, no matter what they're into. Try to understand it, but try not to defend everybody so hard either. Try not to defend or criticize or blame. And if you can do that, you can step outside that physical, three-dimensional, tribalistic, brainwashed society that we're in right now, and have always been in, if you're in the physical realm of things. So, but it's really hard to come out of that. It's hard for me to do it. I'm not close. I'm aware. And once in a while I jump up to that fourth dimension of awareness and visibility, but I immediately suck back down into the physical, and I'll never get to that fifth stage. I don't think, until I let go and become less emotional and stop and let ego go. We need to let ego go, is what everyone's problem is. But because we're all getting into this technology so quickly, as we're all so physical and ego-driven, our egos and our opinions are running wild on social media. And that's an issue that a lot of these people have, and that I have, and that you have if you're listening to this. And so we can get into more about, you know, how to get out of those things and move on and things like that later. But as for now, that's pretty much all the wrestling news I wanted to discuss, talk about, and mention. If you have something that I missed, please leave it in the comments down below. And if you like this video, leave it in the comments down below. And leave a like and stick the thumb up my ass. And if I don't see you, don't talk to you, have a great Christmas or whatever holiday you celebrate or don't celebrate. And if you don't celebrate, have a good weekend. But if you celebrate Christmas, have a good Christmas, man. I know I'm gonna. I got the lights popping out there. And just think, you could look like Uncle Fester's dildo here. So at least you don't look like that. And also, don't forget, if you really love these videos, support me down below with a super thanks. And I will pin the top thanker down below. And tomorrow, I'm very excited to open up Shell's present that she sent me in the mail. It could be a bomb, for all I know. We'll see what happens. Joe Cronin, I hope you sub if you're new. Continue to sub and support me on my Patreon, as I have a podcast coming there this weekend. Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Thank you so much. And thanks to the producers out there who continue to support on Patreon. Check out those Patreon tiers and the things you can get when you become a producer or a patron on Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. And listen to thousands of episodes that you may not have heard. All my episodes with me and Jake. All my episodes with me and my wife. All the episodes of the Corrupted podcast, which is some of the funniest shit anyone's ever done, and we have it on Patreon. Plus After Dark with me and Jesse. And there's a shit ton more, as you know. Become a patron, and if you want to, become a $25 producer. Or just leave a thanks down below if you're not into all that. And give Google 30%. You know? Thank you guys for that. And we will see you soon. And we may see you in hell, for all we know. But no, we'll see you guys. I'll see you guys maybe tonight, potentially, for a bit. Shout out to some of these $25 producers from the last couple months here. Thank you guys so much for allowing my show to continue and being the ones to support it like you have. And if you have left Patreon, I hope you can come back. And if we can get to 300 patrons, again, I will do a 24-hour stream. 24-hour stream if we hit 300 patrons. Thank you guys so much. Have a good Christmas.